Hi guys, it's Heather with Makeup by Heather B. Welcome back to all my subscribers, and if you're new, welcome. Be sure to click the link below so that you can subscribe and get all of our videos as they're uploaded. Okay, so I am so excited to share with you today kind of a easy highlighting contouring routine. So highlighting and contouring is so trendy right now. And the thing that I wish people knew about highlighting and contouring is it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be all these crazy streaks all over your face. We can really simplify it. So I'm excited to share this video with you today so that it hopefully makes it a little bit more realistic for you at home and someone who's just wanting something beautiful to go out in. All right, so we'll get started with the skin portion. So beautiful skin is glowing skin, okay? So the one thing I would recommend is whenever you're doing your face makeup is to make sure that you're really nice and hydrated. So first thing I'm gonna do is start off with some kind of moisture mist. Now this one's by Sanitas. I love it. It's a Boulder-based company in Colorado, but you could use any type of water mist. There's ones at Whole Foods like rose water, anything like that works just fine. So we're gonna give ourselves a little spray. And then once that is kind of on, I'm then gonna go with my moisturizer, okay? So I am really dry, so I'm actually using Shiseido, the Bio Performance Advanced Super Revitalizing Cream. And so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this on. Now, your skin, obviously everyone's skin is different, so whatever your skin type is the moisturizer that you wanna use. So I always kind of mix it in my hands and then just really work the product into the skin. And by having that moisture spray on, it helps the skin to absorb. Think of your skin like a sponge. If you're just trying to put a cleaning product on a sponge, it's not going to absorb as well as if the sponge was already wet. So that's why I like to do a little bit of that moisture before, okay? So that is our moisturizer. Next, we're going to move on to face primer, which I'm sure you've heard me talk about in my other videos, but I'm just going to say it again. Face primer is one of those products that every woman needs, but maybe doesn't know it. And the reason for that is because face primer is going to help keep your foundation on for you all day. I can't tell you how many women will say to me, oh my goodness, I put my makeup on and about halfway through the day, it's already completely gone. So it seems like an extra step, but this is an extra step that will really help you from having to reapply your makeup. So this one is by Mercier, and it is their Radiance Primer. You can see it has just a tiny bit of color to it, not much, but we're gonna put a little bit of this on all over, and I just like to use my fingers. So this one gives the skin a little bit of a radiant glow. They literally have primers for all different purposes. So if you're someone who's really oily and you get shiny, they have an oil-free one, there's a mattifying one, there's a mineral one. Really, you can just find the primer that's gonna best fit your skin. But if you're someone who wants that kind of J-Lo glow, like just hydrated look, the Mercier Radiance Primer is a great one. This one's just a little travel size because you saw I only used a tiny bit, so you don't need much at all, okay? All right, so now that we are all primed and ready to go, we are gonna do our foundation. So I'm gonna use the MAC Prolongwear foundation. I just recently fell in love with this foundation. It's a little bit, their formula is newer for this particular foundation. And what I do is I just squeeze a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take my brush. This one's from Sephora. It's the Pro Angled Contour Brush. It just has like a little bit of an angled top here. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of the product on the tips of my brush. And I always start on the cheek area and just kind of blend my foundation out. So kind of just going in little tiny circles to make sure it's blended. If you have somewhere where you need a little bit more coverage, you can kind of stipple the brush like this, and that helps to give coverage. But a little bit of this foundation, as you can see, goes a long way. So just making sure that it's completely blended. Same thing on this side. I'm going to start on the cheeks and just kind of blend. Coming down here. And then so that you don't get that foundation line that everyone's freaked out about, just blend down here. Okay, and then we're going to do a little bit on the forehead. I really like this brush because it helps to blend the foundation really well, but it's also a little bit firmer. so it can give you good coverage in places that you need it. All right. Okay, so once your foundation is how you want it to look, what I would do is just wipe off any excess foundation on there. And now we're gonna go back through with some concealer. Now I wanna do a lighter concealer because I wanna show you kind of how I highlight and contour my face. And so I'm gonna do kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna highlight as well as conceal at the same time. One of my favorites to do this with is the Naked Skin concealers. This color is the light neutral. These are really nice. They feel really hydrating and weightless, and so they have an easy applicator. So we're gonna look like we're gonna be painting our faces here for a second. So what I do is I start kind of at the bottom of the eye and draw a little triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but almost down to where my nose is. So then I'm gonna do the other side, right underneath here, and then just a little triangle as well. And then I do a little bit on my forehead, down the center of my nose, right above my Cupid's bow, and then on my chin. And then you're done. Just kidding. All right, so then you're gonna take your beauty blender and you're just gonna kind of press the concealer into the skin, okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could use your fingers and blend it out, but that kind of takes some of the product off. So by using the beauty blender, you're just kind of pressing. You're not even wiping, you're just gonna press it into the skin. And you can take it all the way kind of to the nose, you know, up into the nose area here. You don't want to take it on top since you already have some on there. And you can kind of see how that is blended out, but it starts to give you more of that highlighted look, okay? So same thing on this side, we're just gonna press it in. And then your chin, mouth area, the nose. See, it doesn't take much to blend. And then the forehead. Just like that, okay? All right, so once I'm done with this step, what I like to do is add a little bit of bronzer, just to kind of give my skin a little bit of color before I go through with contouring. So I'm using Nars Bronzer by Laguna. I've used it in my videos before. You've heard me talk about it. It's amazing. It has no orange in it. It's a beautiful color and works for almost anybody. And I'm using just a large powder brush. This one's by Sigma. It's their large powder brush, but anything big and fluffy works just fine. So I get my product on my brush, and I'm just gonna kind of go on the outer parts of the face, just to kind of give my skin a little bit of color. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through and do a little bit of the fun contouring stuff. So you guys have all seen the videos where it's like streak, streak, streak everywhere, and then you blend, blend, blend. Those are really fun to do, but they're very time consuming. So I wanted to make this video a little bit more realistic for you and a little bit quicker, because let's be honest, not everyone is gonna spend 20 minutes putting black and white streaks on their face and then going through and blending. So hopefully you like this. It's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier for women on the go. So I'm using the Contour Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is awesome because it has, mine's a little dirty, I use it every day, but it has all the colors that you would need in here. So first thing I'm gonna do with my Sigma brush, this is the tapered highlighter, the F35 brush. Anything that's a little bit more pointed and fluffy you can use, but I'm gonna go over the spots that we just highlighted with a little bit of powder just to set it. So I'm gonna go through with, sometimes I mix them, sometimes I don't, but today I'm gonna mix these two, and I'm literally just gonna go underneath the eye area and just kind of set that concealer, and then anywhere else where you did that little bit of highlight. So there, down the center of the nose, and then the chin area, okay? So that would be setting your highlight. Now we're gonna go through and contour. I'm gonna use the MAC brush. This one's the 116. So it's fluffy, but it's still a little bit more firm. So it's gonna place the color in a spot where it's not all just a line, so then you have to really work hard to blend it. But it's fluffier, that it's gonna help with that process. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually mix these two shades. I like these two. This one's a little bit warmer, so it brings a little warmth to the skin. So I'm just gonna mix my colors. And I always kind of hold my hair back so I don't get any of my hair. And I'm just gonna go along my hairline. And you can do as much or as little as you want. So kind of push it up in there into the hairline, coming around the temples. And you can see it start to give a little bit of shape. Now, if you do it and it's not looking blended, don't worry, you can always go back and blend. So same thing, we're just gonna come down the hairline, almost to where the cheekbones are, and just get that product on there. All right, so now we're gonna do the cheeks. So with this part, most people know where their cheekbones are. If you don't, you can make funny faces in the mirror, you know, suck in your cheeks, whatever you want to do. I just always start at the top of my ear and brush down like that. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm brushing down and I'm brushing back and in a circle, because what I want the product, I want it to be nice and blended, and I don't want it to be like just a harsh line, okay? So by brushing back and in a circle, you're starting to diffuse that line out so that it doesn't look like just mud on your cheek. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos or like pictures that you're like, it looks like she just has mud on her cheek. That's not the look we're going for. So same thing on this side. We're just gonna start at the top of the ear and brush down and then back and in a circle. And we're just gonna kind of blend, blend, blend very lightly. I'm not pushing hard on my skin at all. And you may need to do this just a few times just to kind of really get it. So see how that line is starting to disappear. Okay? But then like you can kind of see how it's starting to be structured. All right, so next what we're gonna do is add some blush. So I'm gonna use the Dior Rosey Glow blush. It looks really bright, but the nice thing about this blush is it actually works with your skin's undertone to give you that perfect pink, okay? So I'm using the Nars, I don't even know what this is called, I use it in all my videos, but it's an awesome blush brush because it just puts the color on softly. So I'm just gonna apply this. Now what I do with my blush is I apply it just a little bit higher than we just did the contour, but I overlap them a little bit so that they start to blend together so that you don't have like a brown streak and then your blush, okay? So same thing on this side. We're just gonna brush back and in a circle right above the contour line, but also just a little bit overlapping. I'm a blush girl, so you can just keep going to town until it looks how you want. I like to overlap my blushes a little bit, so this one I'm gonna overlap with MAC. This is their mineralized blush in Dainty. And I'm just doing that because this blush has a tiny bit of shimmer in it. And so I wanted just a little sheen to my blush. All right, so once you're done with that, if you want to add just a little bit more highlight, this color right here has a tiny bit of shimmer to it. So I'm going to use the same brush that we used under the eyes to set our powder. I'm going to use this and kind of go in a C shape around the eye area. And what this does is it just gives the cheeks a really soft glow so that when you turn in the light, it just kind of catches it and your skin looks nice and healthy and glowing and yada, yada, yada. You can then put this like forehead, down the center of the nose. Just depends if you want shimmer or not. If you want to add that little bit of shimmer, it's great. You just don't want to put shimmer everywhere because that's a lot of shimmer. And then what I like to do is take my big powder brush and just kind of go over and blend everything out like that. Lastly, what you can do if you're someone who really wants to pronounce your jawline, you can take your contour and literally come and just sculpt out your jawline. And what I would do is, you know, start along the jawline here, underneath, you don't want to do above, underneath here, and then kind of brush it down into the neck so that you don't have that weird line, okay? So you can kind of carve it out even more. You can also go through, contour your nose. You can do a lot of different things with contouring, but this is just a quick, easy, kind of everyday contour or going out or whatever that's not too hard. And then with my brush, I'm gonna blend, blend, blend. And then I'm just gonna throw some lip stuff on so that our look is finished. This one is called Sex Machine. It's by Nars. It's their Velvet Matte Lip Pencils. These are awesome. And so you don't even need a liner with them. So a little bit of that. And then I'm going to use this Sephora gloss. This one is called Fresh Peach. And then last but not least, I'm going to spray a little bit of setting spray. This is also, well, this product is actually top secret. I'm in the process of trying it out. So you will hear more about this product. So stay tuned for details on this. But it's a makeup refresher hydrating spray that is absolutely amazing. So we're going to spray off to the side because in case it gets clogged, you don't want to spray directly on your face and then ruin your pretty makeup. So spray off to the side and then just hold about an arm's length out. And just spray your skin. You can then just let that soak in, or if you want, you can take your powder brush and kind of push your makeup in to the skin. I like sprays like that because it does kind of pull your makeup into your skin so it looks more natural and doesn't look like a ton of powder just sitting on the skin. So anyways, that is my skin routine for just a quick, easy highlight and contour look. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.